And that had tag team matches. That had a tag team title match on it. There was 3 tag team titles because they were doing a tournament. And then there was like an NXT number one contenders match. And they did a whole bunch of stuff that's not on here. I don't understand what happened. I don't get it.
I feel like this is just one example of all of the missed opportunities for this show. The breadth of talent.
Oh, by the way, I just remembered something. Gimmick Battle Royal WrestleMania 17. I think it's the last time I've heard of Battle Royal for the men. That was a Gimmick Battle Royal for the Legends.
But it was also still at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's the last time I can think of one. I'm just saying, throw that out. That's just, I'm literally going through my brain trying to figure something out. Go ahead.
I feel like there's enough talent that you could have a successful women's tag team division in WWE. Because you do have women that are meant for tag teams. Like, you have a Mandy and a Sonya. You have a Naomi and an Asuka.
And the Iconics.
You have the
Bellas.
Yes, you have the Iconics. You have the Bellas. You have Sasha and Bayley. These are all...
I thought they were grooming them for the tag belt 6 months,
yes.
3 months. I thought the whole point of their storyline was going to culminate with them winning tag belts. I really did.
You know, and I feel like everyone's saying that there's not enough women. Well, there aren't enough belts for women. You literally have 2 belts for how many women? And there are women, I hate to say it, like a Peyton Royce, like a Sonya Deville, who are completely and totally talented and are worthy of a belt, but they're going to get constantly overshadowed by the Ronda Rouseys and the Nikki Bellas and even the Charlotte Flairs in this world. You're never going to have a Peyton Royce beat a Charlotte Flair for a belt.
I have a question. Would you be okay with a secondary women's title, something like that? Like an IC title for the women?
I would be okay with that, but
Just throwing it out there.
I really feel like the tag team... I think that...
I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you. Just throwing out suggestions, that's all.
Eventually, I'd like to see like an IC or a United States belt.
Yeah.
But I feel like the tag team belts for women are the next progression.
Next step up.
And I feel
it's
like...
just weird. This is the day to do it. This was the time to do it.
I feel like the build-up, she had that major announcement, and I just expected so much more.
Wasn't it like in August, too? Wasn't it like in September or August?
There was so very little that they've actually done in terms of advertising. You know, they had the one little the little video package, and that was good, but I feel like they could have done more.
Why is there no... And I think Wade Keller brought this up on the show this week on his podcast. Why was there no history of the women's division on Raw?
Exactly.
Like a package, like something along those lines showing the history. A 5-minute video would have been fine. It didn't have to be a half hour. A 5-minute video would have been just fine.
Yeah. There were so many...
On the record, Wade Keller is on your side. Wondering what the hell's going on. Why is this not promoted enough? Just one of the best in the business is on your side.
I feel like they could have done so much more, and again, it's another slap in the face to women, because they are going to have low numbers because no one is invested in this.
I know that the show sold out in Long Island. That's a big deal. But it could be for a great crowd. That's for sure.
But they had a very difficult time selling tickets.
True. At the beginning of it all.
They had a very difficult time selling tickets, and I don't think this is going to get the viewership because no one really is invested in most of these matches.
And we'll get to everything in a minute. Well, who do you think's winning the Battle Royal?
My final 4 are going to be Ember Moon, Nia Jax, Naomi, and Asuka. And I see Ember Moon taking it.
I can see that. That works. That'd be interesting. I just don't see Naomi winning two Battle Royals in the same year.
No, they're not going to let Naomi win it.
Or Asuka, for that matter.
And, yeah.
By the way, what the hell happened to Asuka?
Exactly.
What the hell happened to Asuka? Because I know you didn't like her. I know you don't like her gimmick or anything, but what the hell happened to her? Like, she was red hot back in March.
Yeah. And I mean, the same could really be said about Shinsuke, except Shinsuke did get a belt.
And at least he's U.S. champion.
Yes.
And it looks like he's entering a feud with Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
Like, that's huge, by the way. That's going to be a feud, it sounds like. I might be right about that.
I would like to see Ember take this. Okay,
cool. All right, let's move on to the 6-woman tag we mentioned. It is the Riot Squad taking on Bayley, Sasha, and Natalya.
I
like this.
as much as I love Bayley and Sasha together, I think they're adorable. Natty annoys the shit out of me, but whatever. I mean, I have respect for Natty, but she's just annoying, and I'm a dog person, so by nature, I don't think we would get along.
Fair enough.
I feel like the Riot Squad deserves this. I feel like they have been the whipping boys for the Bellas and Ronda for quite some time now, and I just feel like they deserve a win. They're a cohesive unit, like. They're
a team.
They're a team. They're talented. They're fun to watch.
They're getting better and better every week. They really do get better and better.
So I'm going to go with the Riot Squad on this, and I see there being some kind of shenanigans between Bayley and Sasha and Natty.
All right, let's get to the match that they haven't mentioned on TV because they couldn't, because the show's airing right after we're recording this. It is the Mae Young Classic Finals. It is Io Shirai versus Toni Storm.
First off, I would like to say that I called Toni Storm being in the finals.
You did. You're absolutely right. By the way, before we get to this, what do you think of the Mae Young Classic? I've been enjoying this season a lot.
I think it's been fantastic. There's a couple of women who I really hope do some big stuff.
Who?
For me, the two standouts have been Reina Gonzalez.
Okay. She's signed to NXT, by the way.
I also really, really enjoyed Vanessa Craven.
She's also signed to NXT.
As a big girl.
Yeah, she was really impressive.
She was impressive. She commented, or she replied to my comment on Instagram, so we're pretty much besties now. Sorry, Naya, you're my bestie too.
They both responded to you.
And it's just, Reina is a little thicker too. She's
I'm gonna take a trend here with you.
Yeah, she's Hispanic, so of course, I have love for that. I would love to see those two. Obviously, Casey really did. She surprised me in all the best ways.
Those two matches were amazing.
Yes. Deanna Purrazzo was fantastic as well. Obviously, Toni Storm. Rhea Ripley was great, too. I really felt like I was more invested this year.
Mia Yim, by the way. Mia Yim was debuting on NXT tonight.
Yes.
That's a big deal for her. So
she was great. Lacey Lane.
There's a lot of girls that I never heard of going into the tournament. It's been fantastic here. It was a great year. I enjoyed this last year.
See, I think I enjoyed this year more. I hope Tegan Knox comes back because she was fantastic.
I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, that was a brutal injury. I'm looking forward to seeing the finals.
Who's winning this thing?
I want Toni to win it. Because I don't quite, kind of like last year, I didn't see the hype with Kairi Sane. I don't see the hype with Io Shirai because, as I've mentioned to you a couple of times,
those moonsaults.
Yeah, her moonsaults aren't as clean as people are.
As Michael Cole makes it sound.
Yeah, as people want them to be, they're not that clean. And I just, Toni Storm was in the tournament last year. I think
it's a great comeback story.
Yeah, I think she's paid her dues. I think Toni's going to take it.
Okay, cool. I like that idea. I like that a lot. Of course I do. I love Toni Storm, so that makes perfect sense. All right, next up, we have the NXT Women's Championship. It's really strange, by the way, to have a Mae Young Classic and the NXT Women's Championship matches on actual pay-per-views. This is actually really strange.
And I've
never said this before for actual pay-per-view. That's pretty cool.
In a way, I think it's quite fitting that it is Shayna versus Kairi.
I was going to say, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler in the rematch from last year's Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, I think
and from NXT TakeOver, not TakeOver.
And I think it's fitting.
1 year later. It's crazy, isn't it?
I'm going to make it short and sweet. I still don't like Kairi, but I think she's going to take it. Only because I think Shayna's going to be going up to the main roster.
Do you think Shayna's main roster bound already?
I think
quickly.
No, I don't think it's quickly at all. I mean, think about it.
I mean, right after the show. After the show, quickly.
Yeah, definitely quickly after. I think Shayna's definitely ready. I think Ronda needs a friend.
I think Shayna is more than ready. I think she was better than ready when she started.
Honestly, I see Shayna helping Ronda out at Evolution.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Then we have still got a couple more matches to get there.
I still don't like the Pirate Princess.
I know you don't. But by the way, how crazy? Because this is going to be the biggest arena that we've ever seen the Pirate Princess gimmick in. I just thought about that. Like, how weird is that?
To be completely honest, I would be okay with Kairi Sane coming up to the main roster so she can be as obsolete as Asuka is.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I don't see Kairi coming up soon, so there you go.
No. I don't see her coming up soon, but I would be okay with it so she becomes obscure.
All right. Moving on, we have the Raw versus Legends match. We have Alexa Bliss And Mickie James versus Trish Stratus and Lita. Actually, before you get to your thoughts, I have to ask you a question. Did it feel very anticlimactic how they introduced Trish and Lita coming back to you? It felt like that to me at first.
Oh, definitely.
It just felt really strange when they first announced it. But then they also Trish was coming back at NXT TakeOver, like Brooklyn on the internet. Like it was so anticlimactic. Like, what the fuck?
I don't like. Well, I both like and don't like that they made this a tag match. I feel like it's probably for the benefit of Lita and Trish because I don't know if either one of them could go a full match right now.
I was thinking the same thing. That might be the reason we're doing a tag match now. By the way, I do find it weird that they announced a tag match like the single matches were never announced.
Yeah.
That was weird too.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense, obviously, to have Alexa and Mickie in the picture.
And having Mickie versus Trish and Lita, who had feuds with both of them. That makes sense, too.
Yeah. But I feel like, again, this is another missed opportunity that they could have had you have a Tori coming back and a Kelly and Michelle McCool, and I feel like you could have had them wrestle with newer women. You could have had more of those. Or you could have had a 5-on-5, like a Survivor Series match almost with the older women
Something
versus
like that,
the newer women. I get that Beth Phoenix is doing commentary, but I still would have loved to have seen her and Natty versus Nia and Tamina, or her versus Nia versus...
Something like that, yeah.
You know, again, there are so many missed opportunities. I'm losing sight of this match right now, but
we're talking about things. You're allowed.
you could go one of two ways with this. You could have the feel good story with Team Bestie winning, or you could have something more realistic, and you could have the two people who are more conditioned in Alexa and Mickie win. But then again, nobody has anything to gain in this. I mean, Alexa's already proven her worth. Mickie obviously is a legend. She's a future Hall of Famer in her own right. So, they're probably going to give it to the heartwarming story, and they're probably going to let Team Bestie have their last moment in the sun for who knows how long.
Good point. That's a very good point. I think they even emphasized Mickie James' feuds with Trish and Lita at all? Besides, Alexa joking about it?
No.
Which is weird. How do you not do that? Trish and Mickie had the best feuds, period, ever.
I don't think it's been outright
did you mention
said.
that Mickie retired Lita? Did it mention that?
I think they did, and I think that's why the match was originally...
Okay, because that was something that I've never heard on television.
However, that means they would have to talk about the history of women's wrestling, which is something that they're not doing. Mm-hmm. However, shameless plug, you can find out about the history of women's wrestling and more in my MKE Moms blog post about this very pay-per-view.
And I'll put the link up, actually, in the description of this show, plus the link back to your podcast reading of it, which is also really good to listen to, by the way.
Yes.
Plus, if you're not listening to her blogcast, it's fantastic. I thought that.
And there will be another one coming up soon, because I have one posting on the 25th, which was yesterday.
Oh, sweet. I know that. Very cool. All right, we'll move on to our title matches. We have the SmackDown Women's Championship with the last women's standing match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte. The worst heel versus face matchup ever because the crowd did not care. Go ahead, honey, it's yours.
Okay. My heart says Becky. Becky deserves it. But my brain says they push Charlotte as much as they push Roman, and it's not Charlotte's fault.
No, not.
It is not.
It might be her last name.
Yeah, it's her lineage. But I see Charlotte winning this in an attempt to really push that good versus evil vibe that they've got going.
Or could they do something like Ciampa and NXT, where the evil actually won? Because there's the last man standing and the last woman standing, and last woman standing matches usually go to the heels.
Maybe.
Last man standing matches traditionally, unless they're John Cena, they go to the heels.
See, and I feel like Charlotte is a female John Cena.
Okay, just throwing it out there.
So, heart, Becky, the realism in me says Charlotte.
And crowd, Becky. Because there's no way in hell the New York crowd is going to boo Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But note that I would not be upset if my realistic side is wrong, because
fair enough.
I'm Team Becky through and